March. So we're moving on this, and we'll have something out about it very soon.
February what?
It will be in.
Well, I'm hoping we'll do that.
Okay. Bill, you have anything?
Just a common theme I often have, just buy local. I finally made it to the sushi joint yesterday in Price Chopper Plaza. Awesome, great place. A couple local residents I knew came in while I was there, very friendly staff. But it's so important to buy local. I think we all see with the amount of disease and things that we're seeing, in our society, that, the more that we support local food and local business and keep our money within our county, the better off we're going to be. Let's stop exporting our money across seas for fuel, food, and just make a conscious decision to keep it here. I know it's easy to go over the mall and get everything done at one time, but think, can you get it done here in Windsor County? Can you get it done in East Greenbush? You have to leave East Greenbush, go to Troy. Troy is really having quite a revival over the last couple of years. So, try to keep that theme in mind. And use our local facilities that we have here. We have a lot of good local recycling in town. Just try to think local. That's something that we need to get back to. It's something that can reverberate on the national level as well. Let them see that we care and that, it should be.
Thank you, Phil. Sue, you have anything?
Yeah, just have a couple things. The Kiwanis organization, which is a wonderful organization in the community that helps out a lot of children, they're having a comedy night at the Comfort Inn in Skodak on 99 Miller Road on Saturday, March 1st, 7:30. Dave Goldstein and Dan Gurin are going to be the comedians presenting that night. I've been to that a couple of times. It's a really, really great night. They're going to have light fare that's served, $25 a ticket in advance at egkiwanis.weebly.com if you can find that. And you can also get $30 at the door for seating. So 7:30, doors open at 6:30. There's a cash bar available. So that's going on Saturday, March 1st. If you can support Kiwanis, you'll have a really great time doing it. And I also just want to make a general comment, as I normally do. I'd like to thank all our police officers out there. Blue and Rescue, we have quite a few of the members sitting here tonight. All our firefighters, we just had public hearings for the Best Luther Fire Department. Our emergency services are so critical to this town this time of year. Everybody's doing a great job. I want to just caution everybody, be careful with the weather. Accidents happen, and we just have to be really cautious and watch out for our neighbors. And I also want to give a hands up to our DPW workers. Work's getting done. Please be patient. We've got a lot of roads, a lot of snow out there. Be careful going around the banks and seeing them, hopefully. You can clear the banks down a little bit more around those corners. So be careful, watch out for your neighbors, and watch your step. That's it.
She took my thunder away. I was going to thank Anthony and the DPW group for the fine job they did during the storm on Thursday and Friday. The storm, there was a lot of snow that came down, and they kept the roads clear, and they did, we really appreciate your efforts.
All set?
That's it.
I would only be redundant
Yeah.
and reiterating all that. At this point, I'd like to open up the public speaking privilege portion of the meeting, where each speaker shall have or state their name and address prior to addressing the board, and shall have been granted the floor for up to 5 minutes. The board thanks everyone in attendance for their understanding and also for the desire to actively participate in the decision-making process locally. I'll ask those who want to speak to please come to the podium and address the board. Is there anyone?
Well, this is on. Okay, good. I just want to reiterate what Deborah DiMartino just said. I think under the conditions last week of the blizzard of 2014 that we all endured in this town, your your men did an outstanding job considering the situation they were in. You know, when I woke up that next morning, Friday morning, and it snowed another foot, I was like, wow. And it wasn't that long, it didn't seem like to me, maybe because I don't get up and go to work every morning because I'm retired, but they had that pretty much cleaned up by 10:30 that next morning, Friday morning, and I think that's outstanding. Everybody on the board should congratulate on that because they're responsible for bidding on the equipment and et cetera, et cetera. So, nice job, East Greenbush, did a good job.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Hi, Pete Stenson, Helen Drive. I hate the rain or snow on the parade for DPW, but I don't think they were up in my neighborhood today. Doesn't look like they were. Yesterday, we had snow today. And snow started at noon. They weren't up there. They weren't down in Hampton Manor. They weren't in Sherwood Park. So there's 2 or 3 inches of snow out there. I think it should be removed. And not my knowledge. There's a couple of resolutions that were on the tree board agenda. Councilperson Matters mentioned the one about the ethics board waiting until March. CPAP, there's an appointment for that. Disheartened to see that Resolution 35 is tabled, requiring board approval for all non-payroll expenditures. I think while there was no control, it was a good idea. Full accountability and transparency showing that the town spending money. I think it'd be a good idea to continue it. Also, in terms of the acquisition of the boom truck, I'm hoping the town's procurement policies were followed, even though it is a used vehicle. So, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Good evening, my name is Catherine Chris, and I live at 19 Riverside Avenue, Rensselaer. Although I'm not a resident in this town, I live in a neighboring town and was a former paramedic for the town of East Greenbush. It is in my opinion, and I feel I have the obligation to East Greenbush taxpaying residents and the town board of East Greenbush to inform you of the events that have gone on over the past 8 to 10 months. I'm the former intern, volunteer, employee of and a paramedic of WF Brewing, which is the ambulance company that the town of East Greenbush contracts out to. On September 23rd, 2013, I was terminated from WF Brewing for not wearing a proper shirt on a 911 call that came in less than a half hour before my shift ended. This happening only after, in my opinion, enduring harassment, humiliation, targeting, defamation of my character, workplace violence to the point I was brought off of Bruin property while working by another employee to avoid verbal and or physically being attacked by a supervisor then, however recently promoted to administrative position now. To my knowledge, no one has ever been disciplined, let alone terminated for not wearing a proper shirt on a 911 call. I have formally filed charges with the National Labor Relations Board, and there's a current investigation going on. I have formally filed charges with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and there is a current investigation going on. I also have filed formal charges with the New York State Department of Human Rights adjoining the EEOC under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. There is a current investigation going on. These events have occurred, in my opinion, having caused me emotional, physical, psychological, and financial distress. These events have affected my personal life, and as well as my professional life as a paramedic in the Capital District. As many of you may or may not know, the Capital District has about 600 paramedics, and it has a multi-emergency medical services. This is relatively small compared to others. Prior to me being an employee at WF Brewing, I had a pristine name in the Capital District among my employers. I'm a productive member of society. I am honest with my dealings with my fellow being, and I have volunteered hundreds, if not thousands of hours within the Capital District, New York State, the nation, and in third world countries. After being terminated from W.F. Bruin, I had to endure in which my opinion was questioning of my character by current employers and defilement of my name. In my opinion, I feel it is important for the resident taxpayers of East Greenbush and the board of East Greenbush to know that there's a serious issue going on within the W.F. Bruin and the board of W.F. Bruin, as well as the directors. During my employment and after my termination from W.F. Bruin, many of former and current employees and volunteers of W.F. Bruin have come forward and said that they were harassed, targeted, driven out, threatened, and bullied over the past 10 years. This is wrong. Let me remind you of the high-profile case that is going on right now in the NFL with bullying. This should not fall on deaf ears or be taken lightly, in my opinion. It is my opinion that if these issues that are going on with W.F. Bruin run deep, are serious, and deaf ears should not fall upon them. It is my opinion that the town should look into this matter as soon as possible before the targeting, bullying, and harassment continue to occur. The employees there that I have worked with are pristine, and I look up to them in every way. And we should also look into this before the taxpayers' money, the residents' taxpayers' money, is used for expensive litigation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Martin Miller, 20-day Berry Court. I stood before you once before and talked about my wife. But I believe that mutual aid is mutual aid. And I hear this stuff, maybe a lot of you people don't know. I worked for Channel 10 for 44 years, and I listen to the radio, and I know exactly what's going on. But mutual aid is when one unit, fire department, ambulance, or whatever, responds to help someone out, and mutually they respond back and help out. It's way out of control now. We're sending our paramedics outside of our area all the time, day after day, 2 or 3 times a day, sometimes just to help pick up people off the floor in nursing homes, which is ridiculous, but that's the way it goes because these are the guys that are answering these calls. And I just think we're spending an awful lot of our money to help everybody else. And maybe SCODAC should think about having another ambulance service and maybe a paramedic or 2 so that they can help out. But I think it's just out of control. Like I said the last time, paramedics I think are more important than fire department. They save lives all the time. So.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Board members, my name is Gary Favreau. I live at 72 Wilson Road, Greenbush Park. I spoke to the board back in October about the mutual aid issue. At that time, we had several representatives, employees, and also shop stewards and representatives of the bargaining unit also came and spoke on behalf of their members, at the direction of their members at a union meeting. And at that union meeting, the discussion was about 2 things: how it affected the town and the citizens and the patients, and also how it affected the workers. Those 2 employees that came to this board meeting spoke on behalf of the employees and on behalf of the citizens. And for their actions, they were terminated in December and have been without work since that time. Both of these individuals have been awarded, been recognized by their communities for saves that they've made. One in East Greenbush was a save here and was actually a news article and coverage that was on it that identified that person for his outstanding efforts. The other made some rescues in Troy and Waterville. One guy's been here 10 years, the other's been here 7 years. They've done a lot of service to this community, and they care about the community. So they spoke on behalf of their members and how it affected them from a labor perspective, and they spoke on behalf of the citizens, and they've been terminated. Since then, we have federal charges filed, okay, on behalf of those members. Unnecessary, it shouldn't be going on. I worked in this community as a paramedic years ago. I'm retired from Detroit Fire, but I also worked for Bruin. This is a good community. The employees care about the service here. That's what they were trying to raise as an issue, and for that, they got terminated. And obviously, we're going to fight that, and I think there's federal charges in the hopper right now. They're going forward with more coming. It's totally unnecessary. All we wanted to do is meet and discuss a policy that affected both the employees and the citizens. The board refused to do that. We reached out to you guys to possibly get something going on that, where we get some meetings to try to resolve that. That has not happened with the board. We're asking again, possibly, we're even willing to meet with the town board to give more information without bringing it all out here and privately in a smaller group or a committee or however the board would want to do that. But this is getting to the point where it's a serious issue for not only the employees, but mostly for the citizens. And it needs to be addressed, and it's just escalating at this point. So we were asking for some kind of meeting, possibly with the board or a subcommittee of the board, so we can identify some things, and we're even willing to meet with the board, to include the board from Bruin also. So I thank you for your time. It's escalating, and we've got some good people. They're sitting out there, unemployed. They served this community for a long time and been terminated for unjust cause. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's, I guess.
Oh, Mr. Supervisor.
Good evening. I'm Eileen Grant. I live on Celeste Drive. And I'd like to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone. But while we're talking about being in mid-February, I'd like also to make a very gentle suggestion. And that is, when we reschedule meetings because of inclement weather, perhaps we could put a banner on the website or something that's readily apparent, some sort of a proclamation, maybe not below the January Happy New Year greeting. And if we reschedule it, we should put it up maybe more than an hour or so before the meeting, as early as possible. And that would be helpful to folks, who want to come to the meetings and participate in government. First thing I want to say is I'm really pleased to see that we have a liaison to the Ethics Board. And in fact, I'm thrilled. And I wish Councilperson Matters every success in this effort. The workforce her work is considerable, including the promulgation of the policies and procedures associated with ethics and suggestions to her colleagues for a revitalized membership on the Ethics Board. I wish you the very best of luck, Marian. I do have a few other points. Some of them are old. Have we had any progress on the revitalization or the constitution of CPAC? CPAC, Citizens Fiscal Advisory Committee?
That's a comment. That's a comment.
Yes, that's a comment. And now, the question I've been asking for 4 years, the audit question. This time I'll pose it wondering if we have any response about Toski and Wojcicki. We paid both of these companies. We paid them, I think we paid one company more than once. We don't have an audit yet, as far as I know. It would be nice if we had information about the audit. Anybody have any update on the audit? Thank you. I'd also like to ask about Resolution 152-2013, passed on October 16, 2013, regarding financially stressed communities. Any progress on that resolution or the application?
Is that a comment?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, it's a comment. any progress on the tracking of any new grant programs that were alluded to in the governor's state message? Also a comment. And one final thing that I often brought forward at these meetings is the timely dissemination of public information in accordance with the laws that govern public meeting. I'm very pleased to see a resolution tonight to bring monthly expenditures before the board and the public each month. It's a big step in the right direction, and I applaud each of you for this work. However, the outstanding matters on the open government front do remain, and they are the timely posting of the town board agenda and readily available department head reports. Now, I understand that sometime between the very late posting of the agenda and when we all got here tonight, that resolution was withdrawn or tabled. But those of us who want to make a thoughtful statement do need a little bit of lead time. Not a lot, but 2 or 3 days most towns. This town, maybe 1 day, but some lead time so we can make and as you can see, I looked at the agenda when it was finally posted, made a comment, and it was very complimentary. This is a good resolution, and I would have liked to have seen it come to a vote tonight. I'm sorry it won't come to a vote, and I'm sorry that we won't have the proposed transparency in government. I'm in favor of transparency, and I will remain in favor of transparency. And thank you all.
Thanks, Simon.
Is there anyone else who'd like to comment this evening?
I was here last night for the 3 hours of the pre-board meeting at Gilbert, California Avenue. And I would just like to compliment everybody that was involved with getting the minutes out. The fact that we were able to do it in under 24 hours, get the resolutions done, and get it on the web after spending 3 hours negotiating everything last night, I think is a tremendous achievement, and I think you should all be applauded for it, not criticized. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tom Grant, 23 Cedar Drive. I too just wanted to make a quick comment, and I noticed that the agenda is marked as tabled 35/2014, the resolution requiring the town board approval of all non-payroll expenditures and charges on a monthly basis. That's too bad. I hope we can get an explanation as to why it was tabled, because that's a nice thing to have as far as transparency and revenue. Mary Ann Maris, just wanted to congratulate you. I don't know if it is a congratulation or not, but for taking on the ethics liaison position. It's a thankless job. You're not going to get a lot of pats on the back from people. You're going to have a lot of ideas, but I think you're the person to do it. I know you'll reach out to community people and keep them notified as to when the meetings occur, because there's an awful lot of interest in the community having a strong ethics code. More power to you for taking that job on. We look forward to hearing back. You said before March even perhaps, if it all comes together.
I'm hoping this month.
Good, that'd be great.
Yes.
That'd be great. I would echo Eileen too on the distressed aid package that the governor's put together where towns can apply up to $5 million. I would encourage at some point, I know you're not going to respond today because this is just a comment, but if we can get some kind of an update either on the website or through some other mechanism as to whether the town intends to apply for that up to $5 million grant. I look at the city of Albany, Mayor Sheehan. She's applied, she's been active in publicizing the various steps in the process for her application of her city. I think it seems to be a good thing for the town to take a look at. It is something that the government seems to be really keying on to help distressed communities, and we're in jump on status. I think we could use all the help we could possibly get. I understand one of the features of that is you can have them come in, and if you do take that portion of the money, they would come in and almost act as like a mini control board. But I think there are procedures involved in that proposal where you can opt out of it before that occurs and at least get people to come in and take a look at the operation and see if there's any room for consolidation or any kind of combination like that. Speaking of consolidation, nice job on the Recreation Department Director, putting all the 3 positions together, the aquatic position, the medical director position, and the Recreation Department. That's pretty good. My son was the director for that for a while under a previous administration, and that's a good workable compromise. It's a good way to consolidate a number of different positions, so I applaud the board for that as well. One last point, CFAC, I would encourage you again, if CFAC can be reconstituted, that would be terrific. I attended a lot of CFAC meetings, learned an awful lot about how the town operates. Sue Mangle was the liaison to CFAC most of the meetings I attended, and I think you'd agree with me that they were very informative, and people put a lot of positive effort into participating in CFAC. So I think the combination of the ethics board being reconstituted and perhaps CFAC being reconstituted would be a great benefit to transparency in the town and would allow citizen involvement in two very important areas, ethics and town finances. Thanks very much.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak this evening? Okay, I guess we'll move on now. Resolution 18-2014, a resolution approving the meeting minutes. The minutes of the regular meeting town board held on January 15, 2014 are hereby approved as submitted. The foregoing resolution. I'd like to move the foregoing resolution. And a second, please.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilman DiMartino?
Yes.
Councilman Mangle?
Yes.
Councilman Small?
Yes.
Councilman Bennett?
Yes.
Resolution 19-2014, a resolution for seeking determination for Regeneron Building 85, a storage addition. I'd like to move the foregoing resolution. Have a second.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilman DiMartino?
Yes.
Councilman Mangle?
Abstain.
Councilman Small?
Yes.
And Councilman Bennett?
Yes.
Resolution 20-2014, site plan approval for Regeneron Building 85, storage addition. I'd like to move the foregoing resolution. Have a second.
I'll second that, Mr. Supervisor.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
I'll be abstaining from this also, just for public information. My employer is on site and does quite a bit of work at Regeneron, so I'll be abstaining from this also.
Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilman Bennett?
Yes.
Councilman Mangle?
Abstain.
Councilman Small?
Yes.
Councilman DiMartino?
Yes.
Resolution 21-2014, authorization to renew contract with Best Luther Fire District for the furnishing of fire protection. Town Board of East Greenbush held a public hearing on February 19th to consider renewal of the contract with Best Luther Fire Department Inc. on behalf of the Best Luther Fire Protection District. Town Comptroller has certified that the provisions of this resolution were planned for in the 2014 budget and will have no adverse impact on the town finances. Therefore, be it resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized to renew the contract for fire protection with the Best Luther Fire Department Inc. for the year 2014 in the sum not to exceed $97,349.99 to Best Luther Fire Inc. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Councilman Bennett?
Yes.
Councilman DiMartino?
Yes.
Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilman Mangle?
Yes.
Councilman Small?
Resolution 22-2014, authorization to renew contract with Best Luther Fire District on behalf of the 3rd Avenue Fire Protection District for the furnishing of fire protection. Whereas the town board of the town of East Greenbush held a public hearing on February 19, 2014, to consider renewal of the contract with Best Luther Fire Department Inc. on behalf of the 3rd Avenue Fire Protection District. Town Comptroller is certified that the provisions of the resolution were planned for in the 2014 budget will have no adverse impacts on the town finances. Therefore, be it resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized to renew the contract for fire protection with the Best Luther Fire Department, Inc., on behalf of the Third Avenue Fire Protection District for the year 2014, in the sum not to exceed $7,200 to Best Luther Fire Department, Inc. I'd like to move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Councilperson Matters? Yes. Councilperson Martino?
Yes.
Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilperson Mangle?
Yes.
And Councilperson Maloney?
Yes.
Resolution 23, 2014, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for bus transportation for youth programs. The town of East Greenbush has identified the need to solicit bids for transportation for the youth programs. The purchasing agent will present the bids to the town board for final selection of the lowest responsible bidder. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town board authorizes the purchasing agent to solicit sealed bids for the bus transportation for youth programs. May I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Councilperson DiMartino?
Yes.
Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilperson Mangle?
Yes.
Councilperson Malone?
Yes.
Councilperson Matters? Yes.
Resolution 24, 2014, a resolution to approve the appointment of summer camp director for the Community and Recreational Services Department. The Community and Recreation Department seeks to adjust the job description requirements and hours during the off-season of the camp director, and also seeks to combine the positions of camp director, aquatics director, and medical director, and the town controller has certified that provisions of this proposed board action will have no impact on the town's finances. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Ms. Eve Huska be appointed to camp director with the start date of February 20th, 2014, and be it further resolved, the salary of the said camp director be paid by an hour at the rate of $20 per hour, not to exceed $8,000 for the year 2014. May I have a second on that?
Yes. I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Yes, I would just like to comment that the Parks and Recreation Department did a wonderful presentation, provided materials to us to explain and justify this appointment, and I would just like to thank them and very much appreciate it. Councilperson Martino?
Yes.
Supervisor Langley?
Yes.
Councilperson Matters? Yes. Councilperson Malone?
Yes.
Councilperson Mangle?
Yes.
26, 2014, adjustment of payroll procedures of part-time deputy director of Community and Recreational Services. The town board of the town of East Greenbush seeks to adjust the payroll procedure of the part-time deputy director of the town's Community and Recreational Department to an hourly rate, and the town